All right, mate. So let's have a look here. Yeah, comp DODO and YFI. Yeah, DODO. Look at DODO. I'm still holding DODO. DODO's been a frustrating hold, but let's look here. Like I really like comp here. 94.5% down. I mean, it's extremely interesting. You know, at least for for a first buy. Always need to be willing to add lower if accumulating, but you know, it's a pretty big coin. It's a decent sized coin. Should be here in the next bull market. Look at the volume down here as well. You know, the volume has really picked up down here. So it's you know, is people accumulating down here? Well, I mean, you have to think people are accumulating. The price has bounced over 100%. So a lot of it is a bit of a 160%. Oh my God! I hope this drops again. I really hope that dropped right down to the lows again. I would love it. Not going to have money to buy everything. Got to be selective, but comp is one of the ones that I would love to buy. So let's zoom out here. Down 84.5%. I'm going to start this on a yearly, just to get a bit of a gauge on it. Deep red on the year. This is in theory, it's a bearish tweezer volume yearly candle, kind of implying that at some point we can see some sort of lower prices than here. It only has to stop hunting, and then it's true to its word, or true to its setup, in the fact that this is a bearish engulfing, not a bearish tweezer, I should say, volume. It kind of implies that there is the chance that this can take out these lows at some point, right? And then, you know, well, it probably should move back up, because this is 94 now. It's down 94.5%. Sorry, let's look at that. Bloody hell, look at the size of this wick. Is that even a real wick? Look at it. It's crazy, to be honest. So it was down 90. It was down 97%, right? If we can come down 97% or 97.5%, you know, you have to start thinking it's a gift down here. And this tweezer volume kind of suggests that there is a decent, reasonable chance that this can actually go to new lows. Now, that's not set in stone, but that's what the volume is telling us. You know, my ideal situation here for comp, you know, it's tough to say if we'll get it or not, but like, this is let me just get a line there. Like, something like this would be absolutely phenomenal. You know, when you just create this small doji. The problem is there's 3 months left in this candle, but we are at this point so far, we are creating a doji candle, a 6-month doji candle. We're a long way away. We've got 3 months away, 4 months away, you know, so we have a lot of work to do yet to create this. But if we can create a small doji candle here on the 6 month, something like this, where you come down, stop hunt the inside bar, stop hunt the doji, and then you work your way back up, which would take liquidity below and everything else as well. And look at the large volume here. It would also take us below this large volume. So that's interesting. A long way away from that, though. You know, but if it develops and we are here in that time, we definitely have to consider that. Also, a very interesting setup here as well. We have 22 days left in this doji candle, so we can be not certain, but pretty sure that there will be some sort of a doji candle forming here, a small doji candle forming here in 23 days time. Now, a setup I love, and I will be looking out for it, is, if you can see here, if price comes down and stop hunts the lows of the inside bar, right, that can sometimes provide an amazing buying opportunity. Once price gets back above the green line, right, once price gets back above the inside of this, it can be a long with a stop below the wick. Now, we don't know where the wick would be yet, or even if that setup happens, but it's a beautiful setup if that happens. So, you know, may not be any need to rush into buying comp right now, in the thought process that something like this is very, very possible, and even luckier if we can go to new lows, right? If this can actually if that's not the case and we get a red candle down to new lows again, pretend that was a red candle, I mean that's obviously golden. But this would be the closer setup, you know, a closer buy setup in comp on a new 3-month candle. If I see this setup, I will buy some comp. We need to stop on the inside bar, come back above it, and you know, and then see where it takes us. Okay, so Dodo here. Dodo's been a very frustrating coin for myself. You know, I have bought some. I don't really want to be adding. I would like to add some more, but I don't want to be adding too early. The problem is with this coin, I bought this coin a little bit too early, kind of hoping that we didn't have as big a crash as we had. But also, you know, if you look at this, like I think I started to buy probably in there, trying to get the lows of there, 94% down or something like that. But you know, prices fell a lot since then. But I've averaged down into this drop, and I didn't want to be buying more here. If it spiked up, I was going to sell half at my break even. I think that's my break even there, around 20 cents or so. What's that, 20? Don't quote me on that though. But I think that's why I've got this alarm here. But 23 cent might be my might be my average. But don't quote me on that. I think it's around 20, 23 maybe. That's why the alarm's there, I think. So I didn't want to be buying here and adding here more in case we flush. I would rather wait to see if we flush, and then I can buy and add and get that average down at some point when I feel more comfortable to buy. I just bought too early. You know, I thought starting to buy at 94% down would have served me well, but obviously it's not the case. So you can see right now, look at this, it's down 98%. You know, it's quite crazy. I'm very tempted to add more on a daily basis. I've been tempted to buy more, but you know, with the economic situation, with the way the world is, with the way the stock market is, and also this, I don't really like this situation here. See, this is a big bearish candle, and it's continued downtrend, and you can see this small doji sort of candle. To me, this looks like it's going to break and go lower, and it's already down 98%. Also, we have capitulation here, right? So what do you do with capitulation? Well, hopefully it'll give us a buy point below the capitulation. I mean, I know I'm going to be down more money on that, which is frustrating, no question about it. Nobody likes to be down on a position, but I will be thankful that I'll be able to add to this. The only thing, we have to hope it survives, of course. It's on Binance, it got listed on Binance, it's never had a bull market. Like no coin has ever come onto Binance and just dropped and then got delisted, basically. Even coins like Substratum actually had decent bounces. You know, it crashed and it had I think it had a semi-decent bounce at some point, and then it got delisted. And then I don't even know what happened after that, to be honest. But as far in my memory, you know, almost every coin has had some type of decent bounce at some point. You know, you can see, looking at this chart, even my entry point of 20 cent, it's pretty bad. But in the large scheme of things, you know, if this is my worst coin, actually, I think from memory. But you can see my entry point is not that dire. You know, I can improve this with the right patience. So overall, I've done pretty well, I suppose, so far. Of course, fingers crossed. So I do think we'll get back to that. I do think that Dodo looks like it's going to go to new lows. How much lower, I don't know, because we've never been down there. There's no way of telling. I probably should look at the order book, actually, and see if there's a lot of resting orders down here in some spot. It's not really anything to go by, but it can give you clues. So for now, I just have to kind of bide my time, and I'm not sure if you bought some of this as well. Hopefully you've got a better entry than me. So YFI now. So again, I think we did talk about this before. Like I find it hard to see this just recover. I really do. I like this bounce here, but this rounding over pattern, it usually is difficult to recover. If it does create another candle down here somewhere, like say if it comes a red candle back down, forms a base, I think then it's easier to move back up. You know, when you form that base here and you form a neckline, and it breaks above the neckline here, for example, sometimes the coins bark back up at that point. So that is at this point what I would be looking for. Let's just change it. Yeah, so you can see here again, I mean, it might be like most of the market. Most of the market is now having a big, large red year. And so, you know, can we have a green next year? We have to be open-minded to it. I know everybody's extremely bearish, but normally everybody are wrong, right? So most of the time, like, you know, Twitter and the news, and especially in bear markets and people panicking and stuff, everybody is usually wrong. So we have to be open-minded that on a new year, if this flips green, it's a buy, right? There's no question about it. We just need to read the charts and don't be watching the news, don't be listening to it or whatever. Just, you know, focus on what the chart is telling us, and that's the only true way forward. Of course, we listen to the Fed and see if there's any changes in policies and stuff, but anything else is all noise. The question is, can this bounce more into the end of the year? That I suppose that's the big question and the near-term question, but next year will be extremely important for the entire market. So let's just break it down a little bit more. Like, that's kind of what I'm saying. I still feel it just needs more action here, whatever way that action kind of forms. You know, it's tough to say if it's going to take out these lows again, but if it is going to be bullish, I think it needs to chop here more and build a range, and then it needs to break that range, you know, and move up. I can't think of an example. I did talk about XRP before with it. Yeah, so I think XRP is a very good example of what I'm trying to think about. It's not a great example, but if you cut off that spike, this rounding nature pattern here, this rounding pattern, and we drop back down to the bottom. This is where YFI is right now, and you can see what happened. There was it actually drifted to. Let's just put that on there. I know it's a small squeeze chart. Let's try and make that better, so you can kind of see what happened. It actually formed a pattern. And it formed this sort of pattern right here, a falling wedge. I believe that YFI probably needs something similar because of the structure, because of the pattern, because of the rejection, because of the rollover, because of the rounding nature of the pattern. That I think, you know, this is a monthly chart as well, by the way. So, you know, we do something similar to like that. And then, you know, whatever way that works out there, and I don't know how long it's going to take, but you can kind of see what happened. I don't know how long this is going to take, but that's the way I kind of see it playing out. This might be too long of a pattern. It doesn't have to be that long, but yeah, I mean, XRP didn't give much notice, right? The only notice it got is when we sorry, hold on. Look at this. This is a bullish stop hunt on the lows. Look at this. It did give notice. It was beautiful, right? So that's kind of what we kind of need to be looking for. Monthly candles, when you get a bullish stop hunt like that on a monthly, right? Absolutely beautiful. So you could have nailed the exact lows on XRP there in this pattern. I think YFI will form something similar.